Well, the sun is shining. It's another beautiful week ahead. And it's been a great weekend for me. You know something, guys? I actually feel really happy coming onto the podcast today. There's some great stories to tell you. Some things I want to talk about on the podcast today, which is going to be fun. Strap yourself in. Here we go for another one. Good morning. Welcome back to the Mirror Army podcast for another episode. Hope you're all doing well out there. What a weekend it has been since the last time I spoke to you last Thursday on the podcast. Unbelievable. Hope you're all keeping well out there, guys, and doing very, very well. I'm doing actually very, very well. A little bit tired this morning, but feeling great. It's been in the life of my football career. This season has just ended on a complete high. It's been fun. I've had a great weekend, so I have, guys. Funny stories to tell you, some good stories to tell you today, and also got some stuff's come out over the weekend. It's just been baffling me on some of the recent stories we've been talking about and more. So I've got a very interesting podcast for you today. So strap yourself in. Here we go once again. But anyway, yes, welcome back to the program, guys. Once again. Thanks once again for everybody. I was just sitting down there this morning with my morning coffee, flicking through some of the news and bits and bobs, preparing myself for this podcast today, and I thought, you know something, I'm just going to grab a few stories that have been knocking around the last few days, talk about that. I'll talk about how my weekend went, how Lewis's weekend went, and we'll just answer some questions as usual. We'll just sort of see how we go today, because I'm in a good mood. I'm actually in a good mood today. And most importantly, the sun is shining. It is a beautiful day outside today. So I'm recording this bright and early this morning. I'm actually heading out. I have to record this today with my daughter, Brooke. We're heading out to do some wooden floor shopping. That's right, because we're doing some more work to the house coming up here in the next week or two. So we are doing some shopping today. I may even take her out for some lunch. So I might do. So, yeah. It's going to be another good day today. But anyway, before we continue on with the podcast, guys, if you want to get in touch with us here on the Mirror Army podcast, I'm sure you're a regular listener by now, whether you listen to us on Apple Music or iTunes, as I keep calling it, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, or YouTube. You probably know how to get in touch with us. But if you're not and you're a new listener to the program and you want to know how to get in touch with us here at the podcast, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see me talk about, or anything at all in general, even to have a suggestion for our Thursday segment on the show, the Jackass of the Week segment, you can get in touch with us by the following methods. First of all will be the email, which is mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, the old trusty social media, which is first of all Facebook, which is part of our YouTube channel, the Mirror Army YouTube channel. If you search that up on Facebook, you drop a like on the page. Also, if you're on Instagram, you can contact me. Instagram seems to be the most place where people come to contact me these days. Instagram, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. And you can also contact us on mirrorarmy.co.uk, which is the website. Guys, I want to go for any further out there about the website. I want to apologise because the merch is up on the website, but I haven't got around to publishing it yet. I know a lot of people asked me about it over the weekend. I know I said I was going to be out over the weekend. I even said on the YouTube channel it was going to be out over the weekend, but my weekend has been just completely chock-a-block between football award nights and football the weekend and travelling and up and down the road. It's just been one of those weekends, so I'm hoping to get it out this evening. So, yeah, it's done. It's there. It's ready to go. So, yeah, it's just been a hectic. I'll explain more on that in just a wee second. But anyway, yes, you want to get some of your merchandise for the summer, any of our merchandise, check out all our vlogs over the years. It's basically the Mirror Army hub. It's mirrorarmy.co.uk. But anyway, yes, I'm sitting here this morning. I'm actually recording this podcast this morning in my living room. So if you hear either my washing machine going off in the background or anything like that there, then I do apologise, because I'm actually sitting down here this morning in the living room this morning recording the podcast with my equipment, because I fancy a nice comfortable chair today. So I thought, you know something, I'll just record it downstairs today. So I'm sitting downstairs here and I'm recording the podcast. I'm actually looking out my window this morning and seeing that sunshine, and I'm thinking to myself, what a beautiful day it is out there, and I cannot wait to get out there this morning with Brooke and go out for a nice father-daughter day. I had a daddy-daughter day last week in Belfast, which was fun, should we say. So got to go back and check out the vlog from last week. You can see that we went and done a shopping trip in Belfast. That was fun. But anyway, yes, what have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you before I went into the main stories of today's podcast? Guys, what an incredible weekend we had. I spoke to you on Thursday past on the show. Thursday night I had my traditional few bottles of beer. I had a good time, and I had a great night. Tony came round for a little bit as well, which was surprising to see. He came round, he left about 11, maybe 11 o'clock. I had a pretty late one, but wasn't too bad. Had a few beers, chilled out. Actually had a couple of sambucas as well. Had a great night, went to bed feeling great, woke up the next day, bright and early the next morning, felt good. And then Friday was actually Lewis and I's trip to Belfast for the awards night for the football club. We do work for Harlem with Elders in Belfast. We went to our end of season awards night, which, can I be honest with you guys, which was a great night, but also a very surprising night. I'll explain to you why. And the reason why is because we expected a normal awards night for the boys, pick up their awards, their trophies for, say, for example, player of the year, young player of the year, players player of the year, managers player of the year, top goal scorer, etc. And obviously there was the under 21s that were there too as well, who had a great season, and talk about that in just a minute. Which concluded last night, by the way. Hence why I'm a bit tired today. And obviously with the football club, they have different sections of sporting areas in that whole umbrella of Harlem with Elders. They have a pool team, a golf team, they have 2 dart teams, male and female dart teams, they have a pool, there's just so many sporting teams. So we were just going there expecting, to go through all that there, take photographs for the website and social media, whatever else, and that would be it. But you probably saw, guys, if you haven't saw on my social media, my Instagram, I posted it the other day, which was a great thing to obviously share with you guys. For about 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, a lot of the guys were saying to me, make sure Lewis comes to the awards night. And I'm saying to myself, okay, why Lewis? Lewis is only 14. He can't come to a bar or a setting like that, because obviously he can come in during the day to a certain time, because obviously there's laws and stuff like that, and that's grand, whatever else. And they was like, no, make sure Lewis is there. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So as the time got closer and stuff, I was thinking to myself, wonder why they want Lewis to be there. Maybe just obviously take a few photographs, whatever. That'll probably be about it, really, you know what I mean? So we agreed to let Lewis go, and I said to Lewis, look, listen, I'm going to get someone to pick you up about 9:30 to bring you home, because obviously you're underage and things like that there. And Lewis was like, cool, Dad, no problem. Why do they want me to go for it? And I'm like, I honestly don't know, son. I really legitimately don't know. So anyway, we got to the awards night about 7:30 on the dot, which was great. Travelled up on the train, get off at the social club and stuff. Everybody was starting to come in, and all the awards were there and stuff like that. And the awards night started. So we're obviously, I got myself a pint of beer. Lewis got himself a Coke. And we're just sitting there chatting away to everybody, and everybody was saying, like, oh, Lewis, kid, and you and your dad, and obviously speaking to me, saying thanks for all your work through the year and all. And I was like, no, listen, I've been doing this nearly 13 years now. I'm used to it. I've been up and down the roads, thousands upon thousands of miles on the body clock, and thousands of matches and up and down the road, not just for Harlem Elders, but at the time it was a Bangor football club as well. I was there for seven odd years as well. So I've been up and down the road for years, guys. Been to most grounds in this country, and I've built a lot of friendships over the years too as well, which is great. And so we were sitting there, and it got to the part where it was the football awards at the end, and I'm sitting there, right, okay, taking photographs. And congratulations, by the way, to all the awards winners from the new under-18s team that started this year, the under-21s, who've had a great, fantastic season. I'll tell you more on that in a minute. But I came to the first team, and I was like sitting there, and I was taking all the pictures and whatever else for the social medias and everything else. And it got to the point where they handed out all the football awards and stuff like that. And I thought, right, well, that's the end of it. And then they pulled out a couple of Derby awards and stuff like that, and they made an announcement saying, I mean, you can go on my Instagram and you can watch the video. I actually captured it on video. I'm going to put it out in the vlog today, actually. Where this young lad travels up and down the road on the train every week with his dad. You know, he's on the side of that pitch, rain, sleet and shine. He's taking his pictures. He's now helping out with the TV. He's doing all these different things. And they actually called up Lewis to the stage area in front of, like, I don't know how many people were there. There was fucking, I'd say at least 200 or maybe more. I don't know. And they presented Lewis with an award, thanking Lewis for all his hard work throughout the year. And he was a wee bit shocked, kind of a wee bit embarrassed as well, but he was over the moon. He was chuffed. You know, and give him his dues, he has helped out more this year with the TV. He's been coming up with ideas for the TV. He's been coming up for ideas for all the social media with me, and you know, he's become very passionate about the football job, like myself, obviously, throughout the years. And you know, and it's nice to hear some ideas from a younger sort of aspect of what, you know, the younger generation want to see on a TV channel or social media, whatever, which is great. So obviously me being there, proud dad, you know, so happy to see this, and seeing Lewis, you know, getting that award, I was so proud as punch, and I was like, oh, look, Lewis, well done, son, you know what I mean, you've been taking pictures since you were 10, you know what I mean, and you're now 14, and your photographs are everywhere. They're on Northern Ireland Football League's website. They've been shared everywhere. You know, the players have got to know Lewis. You know, they've built a relationship with Lewis. The board love Lewis. You know, it's such a great thing to see. And then the sons of bitches behind the stage done something that I didn't expect, and they called my name out for an award, which I was a little bit shocked, and I was calling them all the fucking bastards under the sun. Like, I was like, you see, you yes, fucking catching me off guard. They called me up and handed me an award for all my hard work and dedication for the club, with obviously website building, TV channel, social media, photography, you know, all the different stuff that we do on a match day, all the interviews throughout the week, and all the different stuff that I do for the club, advertising matches and advertising stuff for the club, and just all the stuff behind the scenes and whatnot. And for the first time, guys, in almost 13 years in the Irish League, for the first time ever, a football club has, well, obviously I've done a few amateur league games, like a wee favour here and there, and thanks for covering that for us, Matthew, appreciate it, and all blah blah blah, that be it. But actually being officially, properly thanked for the first time in nearly 13 years. Like all the miles on the body, all the travelling, all those away games, all the home games, the rain, the sleet, the snow, you know, all those Saturdays taken out of my life where I could have been spending time with the kids. I was even when Lewis was smaller, we were up and down the roads travelling every week, and all those people we've met, and all the people who I've known who are no longer with us anymore, all the friendships, all the people who actually don't even fucking like me anymore, which I couldn't give two fiddlers' foot about those people, because they're just complete clowns, to be honest. All the late nights editing, all the late nights editing websites and getting out match reports, and just all the things you've been throughout the years. And for them to turn around and say to me, thank you for all that, and hand me a little something for that. You know, I posted pictures on social media showing you the thing that I was given, and obviously a photograph with Lewis, with picking up his award with the club secretary, which, you know, I didn't expect it. I mean, I even said in my post, I don't ask for thank yous, but again, the fact that the club actually recognised for the work that I've been there. I mean, I've been at the Welders now since 2017 maybe, and the fact that they actually recognised me for that, and you know, I didn't expect it, and I even said to them, like, why? And they said, because you work for us hard, you know, you advertise our games, you have a TV channel for us, you run that, you run all the social media, you're doing all the stuff behind the scenes, all the pictures, all the bits and bobs that goes on behind the scenes in the media team. You're travelling up and down the road every week. It's very rare you miss a game, like very, very rare we miss a game. And at the end of the day, you're putting our club out there on the map, and at the end of the day, we just want to say thank you for it. And to say, guys, I was a bit shocked. I was like, what the fuck, he's giving me this for? And they were like, no, it's fine, it's cool, dead on, no, it's like, listen. So personally, I want to put it on record right now. I want to thank them for, obviously, the award for Lewis, and thank them for recognising the wee man's hard work. And obviously, I want to thank them for the time that I've been at the club so far. I've had a great time. Had some bad times, some frustrating times as well, but I'm not talking about it here on the podcast. But overall, they've looked after Lewis and I well. And at the end of the day, it's a privilege to go to work every Saturday there. And, every single Saturday, or not, we're not home every Saturday, but the new stadium we work in now every week is incredible. A £7 million stadium in East Belfast, and it's just probably one of the best stadiums in this country, and it's just incredible to be, and a privilege to be there. And at the moment, the way everything's are going at the minute, the future's looking bright with the new management put into place and everything that's going on there, and I am just over the moon the way they treat us. And I have been frustrated sometimes, especially this past season, with individuals and whatnot, but that's all been addressed, and the club were great about everything, and they were outstanding. And the fact that they recognise me for my work and Lewis's work, I just want to put it on record here on the podcast to say thank you. And I'll do it in today's vlog as well. I want to show you some footage as well from the night, and I want to obviously recognise and be thankful for everything that they've done for me. So that was a good start to the weekend. So it was. Lewis left. So he did. Lewis went home. Dad came, picked him up and took him home. He had an absolute ball. And then he came home to be looked after. And then I obviously then went back in to have a few beers with the boys. And it was a good night. That's all I can say. I was up dancing with people. I was having a good few drinks. And I don't even remember what time I got home at. So, but it was fun. I had an absolute great night with all the players and the staff and people from all different from all different sections of the club. I had a great night, and I came home and I ended up just spending Saturday in the house, just chilling out. No hangovers, by the way, in case you're wondering. No fucking hangovers. I was feeling pretty good, so I was. But no, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it was a good weekend. Sunday was even better. Lewis and I sat and watched the football on Sunday. Liverpool drew 4-8 in their last game of the season. We were going to do a match reaction video, but we decided against it. We decided just to have a nice quiet Sunday and just sit and watch the game and chill out. And that's exactly what we done. We just sat, chilled out, watched the game, had a pretty quiet Sunday night. We sat up late Sunday night watching wrestling, because Lewis was off on Monday because of the bank holiday and stuff. Same again on Saturday, we sat and watched WWE wrestling from Saudi Arabia live on Saturday evening. So we had a pretty chilled out weekend apart from the football awards. Before going on any of the stories today, guys, I just want to tell you about last night. I'm as I said at the start of this podcast, I'm a wee bit tired today, but I'm not too bad now. I was in Dungannon last night with Lewis. Guys, our under 21s team, who've had an absolutely incredible season, who won their league section A, which their league's split into two sections, section A and section B. They won their league about 2-3 weeks ago, which then qualified them for a playoff final with section B, which will overall be the overall league champions, which was played last night in Dungannon. Guys, what can I say? Those young lads are absolutely incredible. They are so talented, most of them, and they won the game last night by 5-3. What a fucking game. The highlights will be available later today on Welders TV, but if you're listening to this later on in the week, it's available on Welders TV. Right now as we speak, the behind the scenes footage is up there now. We can see some behind the scenes and some of the goals and whatever else, and you can see all the bits and bobs. I interviewed the manager and 3 of the goal scorers last night. It's available on Welders TV on YouTube. You want to go and watch that out now, and also the social media platforms. Guys, incredible bunch of lads, so talented, all young, and some have actually debuted in the first team as well this year. and they were 3-1 up at half time. They come out, the other team came out, Warren Point Town, who came out and pulled it to 3 each straight early in the second half, and the boys just went on and scored another 2 and just played incredible. Thoroughly enjoyed League Champions. Great night. Lewis and I had a ball down there last night in Dungannon. Great crowd out for a 21s game as well. So it was overall, I want to put that on record as well here in the podcast today. Congratulations to the boys for winning the under 21s. It's called the Championship Stroke Premier Intermediate League title, or PIL is called for short. Fair play to them, guys. So many of you out there listening, because I know a few of them do. Fair play to you. You deserve it. These are well-deserved champions, and I'm sure they're probably still celebrating. But overall, guys, it's been a great weekend since I've spoke to you at last. It's been fun. It's been rewarding. It's been, I've appreciated the whole weekend, and I've just had a great weekend. I'm thoroughly happy with that. So, but anyway, let's get into some of the stories today. Before I get on to any of your questions on the podcast today. What the fuck is going on with this world since last weekend? I mean, I've been speaking to you this past week about the main story here in the UK hitting the news at the minute is your man Phillip Schofield. Now, we talked about it on Thursday. He said that he stepped away from ITV, which our good fellow Northern Irish friend Eamonn Holmes had turned around and said no, he didn't. He was handed his fucking P45. And then on Saturday, this statement had come out saying that Phillip Schofield had been lying to everybody. He'd been lying to his bosses. He'd been lying to the public. He'd been lying to us. Apparently, he was having an affair with a very, 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 very young lad. He's known this young lad since he was 12. And apparently, since when the guy turned 18, apparently he started to have an affair with him. And from what I've been watching and finding out over the last couple of days, that apparently ITV kind of knew about this. They were covering it up. And one reporter has come out publicly and said that they're covering this up like the Jimmy Savile cover up on BBC. Now, I've talked about this with friends. I've talked about this with people who I know personally, people on social media, etc., etc., etc. This is becoming a story where it could possibly ruin this guy's career. And I'm being totally honest with you. My opinion of it all is that Phillip Schofield should be kicked off fucking TV, because a lot of people are coming forward saying that he was a bully, he's a hateful fucker, he doesn't like people, he abuses his power. The fact that he lied to his wife for so many years behind her back, and hiding all this behind his wife's back, in my opinion, he's a fucking scumbag for doing that. Last night, Eamonn Holmes done a sit-down interview for GB News exposing everything, exposing him as being a liar and all this bullshit that he's spilling out now. He's made another statement as well. He's basically trying to cover his tracks. In my opinion, ITV have got this wrong, and I think Phillip Schofield should be expelled from television, because, again, that's just fucking sick. The guy's 61 now, and he's been having an affair with an 18-year-old, or I think he's early 20s now, but even so, I saw this online personality, I'm sure you probably heard of him before, Jack Jones. He's the guy that goes around doing all the funny videos in the street saying, finish the lyrics, and popping up things and doing different things, all these joke videos and all. He was the one that actually done a video one time where Phillip Schofield was seen sitting with this young lad, where Jack Jones went up and popped this party confetti thing because he had 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, whatever it was, and Phillip Schofield was sitting with that guy. And Jack Jones even put a video out yesterday, or was it the day before, and I watched it on social media saying, how did these people not know about this until now? I mean, I put this out, I don't know how long ago it was, and people knew about this. And in the interview I watched with Eamonn Holmes last night, he was saying it as well. People knew about this, and it was a cover up. So a lot of you have been asking me what's my view on this Phillip Schofield thing. Just think about it, guys. A couple of weeks ago, his brother was put into jail for 12 years for being a paedophile. Now it's coming out that Phillip Schofield apparently is, would you even say the word grooming? I don't even know why I should quote that or not. Don't quote me on it, but He's been going with this young lad behind his wife's back for so many years. Then the young man was apparently traumatised and he was moved to the show in ITV called Loose Women from that programme this morning. They're saying the reason why he was moved is because he was promoted, which a lot of people said it's a load of bullshit. It's come out as well that people were asked to sign NDAs, non-disclosure orders, saying that they're not allowed to speak out, they're not allowed to say anything. They were given payoffs as well to keep their mouth shut. So again, there's people coming forward now saying that they feel now because of Eamonn Holmes speaking up, that they feel like they can speak up now as well and they can come forward and whatever else. So it's a whole big clusterfuck, to be honest. And in my opinion, I've never liked him. I always thought he was a fucking sleazeball. Holly Willoughby is now starting to distance herself from him. There's talk of her possibly never even coming back to this morning because she's trying to protect her own brand, her own advertisement deals and stuff like that, which in a way you can't blame her. But again, everybody keeps asking the questions, did she know about this? Did she cover it up like everybody else? You know, in my opinion, ITV are very woke. And they are very cover up, should we say, the whole be kind bullshit, but then obviously all this crap's coming out about him being a bully and all this other crap. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks for Mr. Schofield because, to be quite honest with you, he's got a shovel and he's digging himself a deeper hole as the weeks will go by. And again, I am going to keep a very close eye on this because it's interesting to watch, because people are now using this, as I said there a few moments ago, are using this here as one of the biggest cover-ups since the Jimmy Savile cover-up from the BBC, which I have my very strong views on that. How those fuckers covered that dirty paedophile bastard up for years is beyond me. You know, that guy should have been... I don't blame people for going and busting up his headstone and destroying the house that he lived in. I mean, that guy should have been fucking tortured before he was, you know, even fucking... before he died. And I hope he suffered because for the things that man done to innocent children is fucking disgusting, and that guy should rot in hell for what he done. The same as Rolf Harris and the day when Gary Glitter and all them boys dies as well. You know, they should rot in fucking hell. Anybody who does inappropriate things to children, whether it be kill them or abuse them physically, sexually, whatever, should rot in fucking hell. And in my opinion, they should rot in hell for what they do. And the likes of the BBC scandal with Jimmy Savile, how the hell did that not get addressed a lot sooner? I mean, because it came from a different generation. You know yourselves that there are guys where if someone came forward to expose a celebrity, it was always like, yeah, you're just doing that for a payoff. You're just doing that for money. We'll sweep it under the carpet. No, Jimmy Savile was legitimately raping young girls in the likes of that fucking children's home and hospitals, and you know, even the sickness of it all, where you used to see him doing all them fucking charity runs and walks and all with them wee vans behind him and all. He had mattresses put into them fucking caravan van things were driving around, and he was bringing young girls and boys into there and molesting them while he was doing all them charity events and all them. That guy was just a sick bastard, and you know, he should burn in hell. But again, that was a different generation. But this whole thing with Phillip Schofield, you know, about this young lad, and people, I even heard some people saying online, was he even going with the wee lad before he was 18? Nobody knows. I mean, but again, it's going to be investigated. ITV have come out and said they've done an investigation. Whether they've done a proper investigation or not, I don't know. I really don't know. But at the end of the day, it'll be interesting to follow this over the next few weeks, because at the end of the day, you know, he's admitted that he lied. He admitted he's been caught out in the end. So he has, and it's going to be interesting to see. And fair play to Eamonn Holmes. You know, a lot of people I've seen online, I'm scrolling through online this morning, and they were saying like, oh, Eamonn Holmes is just a sour old fucker, and all these little woke dopes and all these numpties and all are saying, oh no, he's just a listen, let me tell you something. Eamonn Holmes is one of the most honest broadcasters you will find here in the UK. This guy has been on television for a very, very, very long time. He's probably forgot more about television than what most young ones in television nowadays know. You know, this guy has been around the block so many times, it's unbelievable. This guy has been on televisions for decades. And these little ones now, I happily name, you know, the ones that walk around like in the BBC with their, university degrees and their silver spoons in their mouth with their clipboards under their arms run around, being all woke and all about LGBTQ and diverse, and all these old presenters should be gone, and they should all be fucking presenters who don't know what gender they are, or they're he, she, or male, he, whatever the fuck you want to call them. All these ones that live floating on wee clouds and thinking the world spins around them, and these little fucking woke tards should be just told where to go. They don't even know how to broadcast a TV show, half of them, to be honest. How they get involved in TV, I'll never fucking know. But anyway, I want to keep an eye on this interesting story over the next few days. I mean, I was talking about her Holly Willoughby as well. Obviously, there's a lot of people saying that she might not ever be back on the programme again, which I wouldn't be surprised to see, to be quite honest with you. I'm not a massive fan of her either. Like, I mean, I watched her on the likes of Celebrity Juice with Keith Lemon and stuff, but again, that program's no longer around anymore because things like that there don't exist anymore because they're all being cancelled and changed because of all the easily offended snowflakes out there now, and the woke is out to get everything, and everything, the cancel culture is cancelling everybody, and the world's just, as I keep saying every week here on the podcast, guys, the world's going fucking boogaloo. So it is, but I will definitely keep an eye on this story for you. Any future developments, obviously, I will talk about it here on the podcast. Here's a wee funny one I saw this morning. Listen to this here. Now, all know the summer's round the corner, right? We all know, we all go to the beaches and stuff, and we all go abroad, and people who holiday inside the UK like we do sometimes every year, we go to the likes of Blackpool and things like that. You go to the beach, obviously, if you have a local beach nearby, and you obviously go and you have a picnic at the beach, you go into the sea for a swim, you have time and things like that. But places in the UK, seaside towns, the likes of the Brightons and the places we've been to, Southport, and all those different places like Southampton, and all them different places have beach places where you get a lot of seagulls. Now, I'll be honest with you, seagulls can be a pain in the fucking ass. They really are, especially when you're out a day, I'm not out the window here today, it's a beautiful day, like you're sitting down at the seafront, or you're down at the beach, or even if you're out in general for a day, and you're having a food, or you're having a wee chippy, or an ice cream, or something like that, and fucking seagulls always torture you. And I always find that seagulls over in the mainland of England are even more fearless than what they are over here. I've seen people, I've been in Liverpool one time, and I saw this girl literally sit her backside down outside Pound Bakery. I just got Lewis a sausage roll that morning, and she literally was sitting with her sausage roll in her hand, and a seagull came down and took the sausage roll out of her fucking hand. Also, last year in Blackpool, Brooke Lewis and I were sitting, I actually done a YouTube short on my channel of how many seagulls there were. There was a young child sitting having their chips, and this fucking seagull came down and literally tried to peck the fucking head off the child to get to the food, and the dad ended up grabbing the seagull by the throat, which I would have done the same if a bird was attacking my son, to be honest with you. And for all you animal lovers out there, listen, if a bird tries to attack your child, which in my opinion, I would say it was probably about 3 or 4 years of age at the time, you would grab it by the fucking neck and wring the bastard's neck and get rid of it, because it's obviously attacking your child. But anyway, yes, the moral of this story is, this thing here has come out today in, is it Whitby, North Yorkshire? A man has been employed to be called Eagleman, and he's been employed to dress as an inflatable bird to scare off seagulls who are stealing food and annoying people at the seafront. Eagleman works at Mr. Chippy's in Whitby and spends his day swooping down on the squawkers at seagulls to ensure all customers can enjoy their meals without the risk of having their food stolen by seagulls. What the fuck? Good idea, obviously, to scare the bastards away because people want to eat their food in peace. That's the worst thing about it. I see when you're eating food in a car, the likes of a fast food restaurant or something in the car park, and the birds come down and they harass you and they're on top of your car. I call them rats with wings. They're so fucking irritating. John Paul Smith from age 20, told the local news site, "I am the Eagleman. I'm scaring the seagulls away, and Whitby is a bad place for the seagulls, one of the worst in the UK, taking everyone's food out of their hands and more. People are spending a lot of money on their food and it's being taken away by the seagulls, and this needs to stop. I'm in this suit to run around and scare the seagulls and shoot and scare them off." And there's actually a video here on this news website, which I'm actually going to watch after I record the podcast. But yes, he's been employed by this chippy to go around to, like, I don't even know why I'm reading this fucking story. It just caught my eye this morning when I was reading the news, and I was like, I'm going to talk about this, because seagulls piss me off. They really, really do. Guys, even if you go onto my YouTube channel, right, and you go back and watch videos from, I think it's about a year or so ago, there's this man who sits in Liverpool in the square, I call it. It's beside the, what do you call that theatre? I can't remember. It's called the Square. It's where the Liverpool store is in the square of Liverpool. It's right beside the radio tower. And he sits there most days, and he feeds the pigeons, and the birds are like all over him. I haven't got it on my YouTube channel on a video. They're sitting on his shoulder, they're sitting on his head, they're sitting on his lap. You know, he's feeding them all this food and all that. And there's fucking hundreds of the bastards, and the rats everywhere. And I know how he does it, but I mean, it is annoying when you're out somewhere at the chippy, or you're having lunch or a picnic, and the fucking birds are flying down and they're torturing the life out of you and stuff. But this thing here they've done in England, I just had to laugh at it, and I just thought I would share it with you today, because I actually think it's quite funny. So it do. Fair play to that guy for running around doing it, like. But here, you won't fucking catch me doing it for a lover, unless you're going to pay me a lot of money. Anyway, speaking of weather and summertime, this week apparently is going to be an absolute fucking scorcher. I wish I was in England this week, because temperatures apparently are risen to like 27, 28 degrees this week. Now here in Northern Ireland, we're going to be getting great weather all week. I think we're sort of heading towards the 19th and the 20s maybe. Yeah, so for Thursday's podcast, guys, I'd like to know what you're up to for the lovely weather this week. Where he is heading to? He's heading to the beaches, or he's off work, or what he is doing. I mean, it was bank holiday yesterday. As you all know, I was in Dungannon last night for the bank holiday. But I mean, what have you been? What are you all up to for the nice weather? Do you have a week off work? Are you stuck in an office? You know, let me know where you've been this week, and I'll try and read some of them out in Thursday's episode of the program on Thursday. But yeah, apparently the weather forecast is going to be all week long. It's going to be, but in saying that, there, where we live here in Northern Ireland, they say out there, you know, they're going to say, oh yes, it'll be like 18 degrees and the sun will be shining, and then you wake up that morning thinking, yeah, I'm off work for the day, the kids are off school, whatever, and let's take the kids to the beach. And you wake up, and then you get up and you look outside and you open the blinds, and it's fucking pissing down. But it's saying here, the UK weather forecast, Britain set for the hottest day of the year, is soaring temperatures up to 27 degrees. But yeah, there you go, 27 degrees this week, guys. So what are you up to in the sunshine this week? Maybe heading out for a walk with your pets to the beach, which probably you can't do, because remember we talked about that the other week. Apparently you're not allowed to take your pets to the beach anymore during the summer. What all shit that is. What he's doing, he's off this week, guys. What he's up to, you know, let me know what you're doing. And I'll try and talk about it on the podcast on Thursday. Saw a wee sad story this morning, guys. Annabelle, I know he's no one to know about her. Annabelle Croft. You know, she's a tennis commentator. Who's unfortunately her husband passed away. Only 8 weeks after complaining of stomach problems and stomach pains, he passed away of cancer. It's so sad. Annabelle Croft has been on our TV screens for I don't know how long now. You know, it's so sad, the fact that, like, you know, she's been on, for everybody who doesn't know out there, she's been on BBC, Eurosport, Sky Sports. She's been a presenter for years and years and years. You know, she used to be a tennis player herself. You know, beautiful woman too as well. I always remember her younger days. She was still beautiful, but unfortunately her husband passed away at the age of 60. That's so sad. Another one as well I'm really concerned about as well, guys, for anybody out there who loves Celine Dion, some really classic songs out of her over the last few years. She has cancelled the rest of her tour because of her recent rare, incurable neurological condition. She is only 55 at the minute, and she's been diagnosed with a very rare condition. And unfortunately for fans out there, she has cancelled the rest of her tour. Now, she did put out a video on her website, the social media, whatever else, saying that she will be going to finish her tour, but now she's pulled out of her tour. You know, Celine Dion's been through quite a lot recently over the years, you know, with a lot losing her husband and everything else, and it's just absolutely so heartbreaking. And a lot of people out there, who I know, friends of mine who are big Celine Dion fans. One particular girl that I know who bought tickets for her tour is heartbroken because she can't go anymore. And I do hope that she gets some clarity and then obviously gets better in some way. Obviously gets a bit better, obviously. But it's so sad to see another icon. We lost Tina Turner last week, and now we've heard Celine Dion's not in good shape as well. So here's hoping that she is feeling better very, very soon, because it's obviously another icon of the music business. I mean, I'm not one of her biggest fans, to be honest with you, but I do love a lot of her music, and she's got an incredible voice, to be honest. But again, you know, unfortunately, she's cancelled the rest of her tour as well. Guys, I was talking to you a few weeks ago about the state pension here. It's just been brought out here this morning as well that apparently millions have been now warned they only have up to 2 months to claim any other money that they earned through their state pension. So anybody there who listens, I do have a lot of older listeners, whether you have a parent or you have whether it's yourself or a grandparent or something like that there, make inquiries into this, because it's all over the news again. It's in the papers again today as well as here. So just to make sure that anybody out there, whether it be a grandparent or a parent or maybe even yourself, make sure you're obviously getting the right money for your state pension. So contact obviously your pension provider and stuff like that. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago about that, and I had to actually send a few links across the stories and information to different people, because people were asking about grandparents and asking about, you know, their mum, are they getting the right amount of money and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just come out again today, guys, about that. So make sure you're checking, you know, your family's, or whoever it is in your family's getting the right you know, pension, because at the end of the day, the government won't take two monkeys about it, like, because they'll just pay you whatever they're paying you, and if they're not giving you the right one, then it can be a right kerfuffle. Right, let's get into some of your questions, guys, because I want to head down the road here today and get my day going, because I gotta go and meet my gotta go and get my daughter ready, and we're gonna head out the door here shortly. So for today, head out that lovely sunshine and obviously record a lovely vlog for you guys too as well. But anyway, yes, moving on. Let's get into some of the emails first of all, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Let's have a look here. First one today is from Alex. Alex has wrote me a message today saying, "Hi Matthew, just wanted to send you a quick question for your podcast." Okay, well, no problem at all. Thank you very much for your email. Appreciate it. It says, "Are you sad or are you happy now the football season is finished? What is your plans for the summer holidays? Is it just to take it easy, or are you got a lot of plans for the summer? Just thought about ask you. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work and love the videos on the YouTube channel." Alex. Well, I am kind of sad the football season's over, but in a way I'm not. It's been a very, 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 very long season, especially with that World Cup break and all being on in November too as well, which was good. I enjoyed the World Cup, even though a lot of people said they didn't enjoy the World Cup. I actually thought it was quite good, especially the night of the final, whenever Dad was round for the final. We had an absolute ball laughing at the final. It was a great night, so it was. No, it's been a long old season, so it has, but again, you know, I am kind of glad, but I'm not kind of glad. I obviously will enjoy the break. Plans for the summer, I mean, I've said before here in the podcast, I'm off to London at the end of June with Lewis. Probably do a lot of day trips and all in between that as well. We're off to London for the WWE shows in the O2 on Friday and Saturday night. The last Friday in June and the first Saturday in July. And then we're obviously away on our summer holiday as well, which we always go on every summer too as well. That'll be in July. And then in August, we're off to watch AEW wrestling at Wembley Stadium in London. So, but then obviously through that, we'll obviously have a few wee breaks here and there, maybe a wee weekend away here or a wee night away there or whatever. Obviously have a lot of plans. Pre-season for the football here in Northern Ireland's back. I think it's the start of June. So we've got maybe a couple of weeks off to sort of like maybe relax and sort of chill out and stuff like that. But when you work in the world of football, Alex, it never stops. You know, you're always busy. So I mean, our pre-season for our boys, they'll be back fully for pre-season probably in the next 2 weeks or so, which is not much of a break, to be quite honest. But again, the time goes by so quickly, and the way football is now, footballers are not as off as much as what they used to be, because I remember back in my day, God, when the football season ended at the start of May, that was it. They weren't back again until maybe the end of June. So, I mean, they were off for like 8 or 9, 10 weeks, whatever, and they got a good proper break. But obviously now it's the football world the way it is now, the pre-season tours and pre-season this and pre-season that, you know what I mean? It's just obviously just keeps going and going and going and going and going. So, but thanks for your question, Alex. I do appreciate it, and thank you for obviously taking your time to watch the videos and obviously listen to the podcast every week too as well. I do appreciate it. Right, I got one here from Carrick. Carrick, his name's is it male or Carrick? Carrick. Carrick Higgins. Maybe it's a misspelled. I don't know. Probably it is your first name. I don't know. Well, thank you for your email, Carrick. I do appreciate it. Carrick, I've never heard of first name. I've heard of Carrick for a surname, but not a first name. Okay, no problem. Thanks for your email. Do appreciate it. Hey, Matthew. How you doing? Just came across your podcast for the first time through TuneIn Radio Podcast, and I must say I thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy the way you're just a straight-shooting, honest-talking guy who takes no bullshit and just calls everything as it is. I understand, obviously, with your YouTube channel, you try to not swear as much on it because of all the rules and regulations, which in my opinion is a nightmare. But I just wanted to drop you a message to say that I enjoy your podcast, and I've started watching some of your YouTube videos as well. Keep up the good work. It's great to see a man out there who works hard for his kids, and for what I can see on your channel, you have a very, very high-knit bond with your family, especially your parents, your brother, and obviously your 2 children. Keep up the good work. I follow you now on TuneIn Radio every single week and enjoy the podcast. Take care, Carrick. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. That's actually made me smile even more now. You came across us on TuneIn Radio. Hey, all you people out there listening to us on TuneIn Radio, how are you? We've actually got a lot. The numbers have actually been up quite a bit since we're on TuneIn Radio, which is great. Thank you very much for that. Let's get on to another one here now from, let's have a look here, Rodney. One here from a guy called Rodney. Rodney is from Berkshire. Hello, Rodney. How you doing? Berkshire. Obviously, I assume it's Berkshire in England. Rodney writes to me, "Hi, Matthew. Just wanted to let you know that I enjoy your podcast every single week. There is some things in your podcast that I don't agree with. Some of the things that you say about woke and BBC I don't agree with, but some things I do agree with. I am a loyal paying license fee payer, and I just wanted to ask you a few questions about the license fee itself. Number 1, do you pay for a TV license yourself? Number 2, why are you so against the BBC? Okay. And number 3, why are you so negative towards the royal family? Okay, well, looks like someone out there who disagrees with what I have to say. Well, I'll answer your question for you. You say I'm so negative against the royal family. Well, would you not be with Harry and Meghan? Because they're fucking clowns, to be honest with you. The only ones I really like in the royal family at the minute is Kate. That's being honest. William, I can bear with. But Harry and Meghan, 2 drama queens. BBC, why am I so negative towards the BBC? Because they are liars, corrupt. They are, let me think, they cover up lies, they feed us propaganda, they bullshit us. The list goes on and on. I've talked about it on this podcast before, and again, I'm open to debate about this. License fee, yeah, well, unfortunately, I have to pay it, or they're going to threaten me with jail, which is unfortunately. I mean, people say to me all the time, you tell people you don't have to pay the license fee and all, but why do you do it yourself? Well, at the end of the day, if you're watching live TV, that I've openly stated this on the podcast, you have to pay it. If you don't watch live TV, which I'm considering not going back to watching live TV anymore, because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't like paying the fucking license fee to a bunch of covering up lying scumbags, in my opinion. But again, I don't fancy £1,000 fine. I don't fancy going to fucking jail, or they threaten to put you in jail or whatever. You know, I have had emails from people saying to me, you know, oh, you're preaching about cancelling your TV license and all that there jazz and blah, 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 blah. You know, you watch live TV yourself. Listen, what I say to people is, if you don't watch live TV, you don't have to pay a fucking TV license. If you don't use the BBC iPlayer. You don't have to have it. If you pay for a service like Netflix or Amazon, which you're already paying a subscription for, that's fine. As long as it's not a live event that you're watching, is fine. YouTube is free. So where they're getting that bullshit from, it's on their own fucking website if you don't believe me. There's a part actually of the TV license website now where it says declare you don't need a license, and the questions, I went through it personally and had a look myself to see what it's like. You declare why you don't need a license. Do you watch live TV though? Do you use the iPlayer? No. Do you use BBC Sounds? No. It's just crazy. And for this person now to send me these questions, I'll have an honest debate with you. I don't like the BBC. I have friends who work in the BBC here in Northern Ireland, which I'm obviously not going to give out their names, which basically bite their tongue every single fucking week working for them. There's people in the BBC who I personally don't like because of their bullshit and their lies and their corruption and all that crap during COVID and all too as well. So I'm just giving an honest opinion on this. And if the listener who's just sent me this email in doesn't agree with what I say, then they obviously have their choice to switch off or not want to listen to me anymore. I've said this many a time before. So listen, you have your opinion like everybody else, and I enjoy a good debate with anybody. But at the end of the day, as I always said here on the podcast and on my YouTube channel, if you don't like what I say or what I do or whatever, pick up the remote control or turn off your phone or turn off your iPad or whatever it is you're watching me or listening to me on. Switch it off. But listen, thank you for your email. I appreciate it. Again, there's no holding back here with me. I shoot the breeze. I talk whatever way I want to talk. And if people don't agree with what I have to say, then you've got the email there. You've got the Instagram. You've got the Facebook. You've got everything else where you can to contact me. And I appreciate your email. So, yeah, hope that clears it up for you. And again, guys, I don't hold back. So, but Larry, thanks for your email. Thanks for taking your time out of your day to write the email. And if you continue listening to me here on the podcast, I appreciate it. And if you continue to watch my videos, I also appreciate it. So thank you very much for your time, for taking the time to write the email to me, because I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right, let's get on to the old Facebook. Let's have a look through the Facebook messages and see what I have this week on the Facebook messages. Right, I got one here from William. William has wrote to me on Facebook saying, "Hi Matthew, just a quick question for the podcast for this Tuesday. If you were ever given an opportunity to go and work abroad or in England in football, would you do it? If so, what club would you like to work for?" Silly question, of course, but I know you'd love to work for Liverpool. Keep up the good work. I enjoy watching your interviews on the Welders TV channel. You seem very natural. The players have a bond with you by watching it, and I enjoy watching your interviews. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Would I go and work abroad or in England? It depends who it would be. Obviously, would it suit me? Would it suit my children? Would it suit my way of life? Obviously, if I got a job in Liverpool, I'd be away in a heartbeat. But that's, again, the passion I have for the club that I love. But again, if Liverpool came calling to work even for at the academy section or something, or do interviews or something like that, I'd be away in a heartbeat. But would I work abroad? Well, again, at the end of the day, I was offered a good club, and obviously suited my needs and accommodated me for what I needed from me and my kids and stuff like that, then maybe, but it just depends. But I just love my football job. I just love being in football in general. And thanks, Fatter, for watching the interviews and all too as well. I have got a good bond with most of the boys from all levels of the team. I enjoyed doing it. I done a cracking one last night with the manager of the 21s and the three players who scored the goals last night in the playoff final. So I enjoy it. I go back and watch some of my first ever interviews in football and I cringe. I really do. I really, really cringe. It's like, ugh. Definitely not. And then as the years went by, obviously I've picked up different things and tricks and stuff like that there. So it's cringy going back and watch some of the earlier interviews because I was very, very nervous back then. So, but there you go. Brilliant. Right, moving on. Let's get on to another one here from Facebook before I head over to the old Instagram before I head down the road today for the end of this here. Right, let's have a go here and see. Right. got one here. Where is he from? Let's have a look. Already answered that one. I've answered that one. Right, here's one from Blake. Haven't read this one yet. Blake has wrote to me on Facebook saying, "Hi Matthew, love your podcast every single week and just have a quick question for you. If there's anywhere in this world where you would like to be right now, where would it be? And why? Also, if you woke up tomorrow morning and had £100 million in your bank, what would you do?" I think I answered the question, I guess, a few weeks ago. Okay, where would I want to be if right now if I had the choice? Honestly, be a few places. New York, Santorini in Greece, because that place just looks amazing. I want to go there. I wouldn't mind going to Switzerland, because Switzerland looks absolutely beautiful. So it is. There, as I said, in New York, or I don't really know. Probably some of those places there, because that place in Greece just seems to be drawing me in. You know, I always heard about it, but I never really knew much about it until a couple of years ago. Whenever I was with Sandra at the time, it was Sandra brought it to my attention. She was like, "Matthew, look at this place. Have a look and see." And she was showing me videos and stuff, and I'm looking at it going, wow, holy shit. I know Greece is a nice country, but my God. So I actually booked a place just before COVID hit. We booked it, I think it was the start of March, to go in September, I think it was, for a few days. We got a lovely villa thing. It was really cheap and everything was going really well. All we had to do was get the flights not booked, and then the next minute, about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, bang, COVID hit and the whole world shut down. So I did plan to go back to there last year with her, but unfortunately, obviously, we then broke up, which was unfortunate, and I had to end up cancelling the whole trip. I actually had that booked as a surprise, so there's an exclusive for you. But unfortunately, we broke up and we couldn't go anymore. But I did say to myself, one day I want to get there, because a friend of mine who plays in the Irish League, Andy Hall, just seen some of his photographs there recently on social media. Him and his new wife, they got married last year. They were there for their holiday, and it just looks amazing. The place just looks stunning, and the clear blue water and just that whole place just looks absolutely stunning. So it does, and I will get there one day. So I will. I've always promised myself I'll get there one day. But that's where I'd like to be. So I would. And if I had 100 million in the bank, what would I do? What would I do with 100 million? Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be living here for starters, and I wouldn't go mad. I'd buy myself a nice house, nothing crazy, not a big mansion or nothing like that there. I would get myself sorted and have a nice car and make sure my family was well looked after. Make sure my kids would be set up for life, whether it be have a home for them or something or whatever else, or help them get set up in a new home. And that would be it. I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't go out and spending all this lavish stuff and like some people do. I would just be happy. I would just make sure my family's sorted out and I'm sorted out, and that would be pretty much it. So it would be me. As long as everything is sorted out in my family, I'm happy enough. Money's not everything, guys, to be honest. But again, I wouldn't go crazy, unlike some people. But anyway, thanks for the message, appreciate it. Right, I'll take one from Instagram and then I'm going to wrap it up, because I got to head down the road. Because I got to go and get Mrs. Prim ready here, because no doubt she'll be sitting up there upstairs this morning looking at me not happy. Where are we away at you, Dad? Well, okay. Right, I'll take one from Instagram. Right, where are we? Right, I've got one here. We'll see. Flip me Instagram. I love Instagram. See, when I go on the message requests every week and I see all these messages from you guys, I absolutely, I'm overwhelmed, should I say, with overwhelmed with appreciation of the messages you give me every single week. It's unbelievable. Right, I've one here from, let's have a look here. Charlotte on Instagram has said to me, "Hello Matthew, how are you today? Hope you're keeping well. Hope you and your family are all doing very, very well. Just wanted to see if you could give me some suggestions on DIY around the home. I listened to your podcast last week where you said you were talking about the couple that contacted you a while back about decorating their home. I just wanted to see if you have any DIY tips for myself and my husband. We just recently bought our new home there during COVID, and we couldn't do very much during the lockdowns, etc. But because of finances, and obviously people couldn't come in to do the work to our home. We are currently debating at the moment over sorting out our living room area, our conservatory, and also the husband who wants to turn the back room into a man cave. Do you have any suggestions on how we can compromise around this? Thanks for taking the time to read the message. Okay. Compromise. Let the man have his man cave. Here, Mr. Husband, if you're listening, let her decorate the living room as long as it's not pink. You take the man cave, have a bar in there as well, and a pool table or a dartboard, put it in the man room, and we'll call it evens. How's that sound? I'm kidding. How to compromise? Well, here's the thing. I always say about compromising, and I said to that couple before months ago, at the end of the day, is meet down the middle. You know what I mean? And if he wants to turn the back room into him, if it's not, here's the thing. If it's not going to be used, if the room's going to lie there empty, now I don't even know why you have children in the house or whatever, if you're debating over certain rooms, or say there's 3 rooms, you pick one, he picks one, and then obviously you decide together on another one. If it was me, I would make a suggestion where, you want the back room or the conservatory room or whatever it is, you can do that. He can have the spare room, whatever it is, to turn into his wee man cave or whatever he wants to do it. Now, here's the thing, though, if the husband's listening, as long as he doesn't decide to live in there and ignore his missus, because if that's the case, I'll find where you live and I'll come and I'll kick you up the ass. You don't ever ignore your woman for that. You spend time with both. You know what I mean? If you have a bar or a man cave or whatever it is, you break your time up 50-50. You don't just spend your time in the room with the woman. You got to keep your woman happy too, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, she's your good lady, she's your wife. So, and then my suggestion would be then obviously the living room area, you would make a joint agreement of what we would do with the living room area. Try to come to a compromise, should we say. Now, I hope I haven't caused any problems in the household, because I don't want to be getting another message back from you saying that I've caused rows and arguments. But the bottom line is, compromise. That's all I can say. But this is what I'd be offering. I'd be saying, well, darling, you want to do the big conservatory room up, you do whatever you want there. You let me have my wee man cave, which I won't spend every day. And by the way, I'll maybe spend 1 night a week in it or 2 nights a week in it. Why you go and have time with your girly mates and do whatever you have to do with your friends or family, or if you have sisters or whatever. It's always nice to have time with other people as well as being super glued to yourself all the time. And then obviously we'll come to a decision on the living room. And it's not just me being a man saying, oh, I have to have a man cave. Not necessarily. But again, any men out there who have a man cave and you have a partner or a wife, always make time for them too as well. Yes, you may enjoy going into your man cave and having your whatever it is you're doing there, whether it's having a drink or watching movies or playing computer games or whatever it is you do in your man cave. At the end of the day, include your missus too. Don't let her take over it though. Include her, but don't let her take over it. Because it's your room, it's your man cave. And I know women out there who have women caves. So they do, believe it or not. I have a friend from mine from Belfast whose wife has a woman cave because she likes to play computer games. He doesn't. She does. She likes to game and, have a few beers and all that there, you know what I mean? So it's not all just men out there. But compromise. Compromise on it. That's all I can say to you. Compromise. So you can. But anyway, let me know how you get on. That's another one I want to hear from. Let me know how you get on. Right, I'm going to head down the road now, guys, for another episode. That's me done for another podcast today. Once again, thank you for your messages. I'll spend the next day or two flicking through my phone when I get a spare hour or two to answer some more of your emails and obviously your Instagram and your Facebook messages and whatnot. I will more than likely be dropping an announcement tonight on social media in relation to the merchandise, so stay tuned for that. Coming up on Thursday's podcast, we have the Jackass of the Week. I want to hear your suggestions who Jackass of the Week should be for this week, and obviously answer more of your questions, talk about what's going on in the news, let you know what I've been up to and more. Stay tuned for the YouTube vlogs coming up. There's quite a few of them coming up this week as well on the channel, so stay tuned for them. And I'm going to head down the road here now and get ready to go and spend time with my lovely daughter, which should be fun. So it shall be. She's up now, probably getting showered and all, but nice. So by the time I go here and get ready, If I don't drop this podcast this morning before I leave, I'll probably drop it later on today when I get home. But anyway, yes, guys, thank you once again for taking the time out of your day to listen to me, whether you're on TuneIn Radio, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel as well. If you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Music, if you're streaming us, thank you. If you've downloaded us, thank you. Wherever you're listening to me, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it as always. So until Thursday, guys, enjoy the sunshine, no matter what you're up to. Let me know what you're up to, as I said to you earlier on. What plans you got for the sunshine this week? I want to hear all from you throughout the next day or two. I'm going to enjoy the sunshine tonight. I'm actually going to get some shorts on today and see if I can get some tan on my legs. I was wearing shorts for football last night, but then the sun went away, so I'm hoping to catch some rays on my legs today. So, fingers crossed. Right, anyway, yes, I want to go. So until Thursday, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your Tuesday and your Wednesday, and I will see you back here on Thursday for another episode of the Moore Army Podcast. So until then, guys, I will see you all soon. Thanks for listening.